Welcome to the New School of Marketing podcast, the place for smart, simple strategies that will amplify your business results. Sharing practical tips, insider knowledge, and actionable advice because marketing is something that every business owner can do. Now, let's get started. Introducing your host, Bianca McKenzie, mum, lover of snow sports, camping, horse riding, and in-demand launch strategist and Facebook advertising knowledge bank.
Hello and welcome to the podcast, or if you're a regular listener, welcome back. I am so grateful to you all for tuning in. I love recording this podcast, but I really do it for you, my listeners. So today is an extra special episode because I've crossed into the 3 digits. This is episode 101. So yes, I did it last week. And I've got my festive hat on plus an extra special offer for you. So keep listening as I'll tell you all about it later. So I was talking to one of my business friends as well as my mastermind buddies, and I realized what a huge milestone this is of getting 101 episodes out. And my business buddy said that it's important to acknowledge how far I've come, especially because I launched this podcast in the middle of the pandemic in a very strict and long lockdown back in Melbourne, with a then 2-year-old at home full-time because daycare was closed to non-essential workers. So it was full on. And sometimes I wonder what I was thinking. But here we are, 2 years on, and 101 episodes in. And in that time, we sold a house, we bought a house, we moved to Tasmania, never moving that far again. And we had a baby. So yes, I'm spending a minute reflecting on this. And as I said, I have my festive hat on because it is pretty amazing that I have achieved this. So, give yourself a pat on the back too for all the things that you've achieved. I am giving myself a pat on the back for all that I've achieved. And I wouldn't have come this far without you. So really, and I mean really, I want to say a big thank you for tuning into the podcast on the regular. Or if you're new here, welcome. And there is a ton of amazing episodes waiting for you. Marketing is not just my profession. It's actually something that I've wanted to do since I was a teenager. I know not many teenagers know what they wanted to do, but ever since listening to the marketing manager of Manchester United, the football club, and hear him talk about what his job was and what he did on a daily basis, I've actually wanted to do marketing. And back then, it was also a little bit about the glitz and the glamour, which has definitely dropped off as I've gotten to know myself better and decided that jeans, or some days track pants, and a jumper are more my thing. And while I love traveling, I prefer to do it for leisure and not for work. Been there, done that. Not really the biggest fan. And I'm really a bit of a homebody, to be honest. I quite like being at home. Anyway, I am super excited and super proud to be celebrating this milestone with you. But let's get into some marketing talk now. And I actually want to talk about money. Don't switch off just yet. I know it's not everyone's favorite topic, but I want to talk about Facebook ads budgets and how to determine how much to spend on your campaigns. Now, first, a disclaimer, because when it comes to money talk, it's really a matter of how long is a piece of string. Everyone's budget is different, and it is entirely up to you what you want to spend on Facebook and Instagram advertising. And maybe you don't want to spend anything, and that's fine too. In this episode, I want to talk about how to determine your budget and what to look out for in terms of deciding what you're going to spend. So step number 1 is to decide what you want to achieve with your ads. Are you using ads to generate leads, or are you going to drive purchases? If you have an e-commerce store, you probably will go direct to purchase. Or are you going to drive ads through your funnel and use them to get leads as well as convert them, for example, in a launch? So each campaign is different, and it's really important to determine what you want your ads to do before you get them started. Also, you need to decide how much you're willing to spend on generating a lead or a purchase. So you need to know what the value of your leads is and what you can realistically spend to attract a lead. If you know that when you attract a lead and you convert them, they often bring in, $1,000, $5,000 if you, do services, then you can spend $100, $200, $300, even $500 on a lead, because you know that when you convert them, and you need to know your conversion rates, we'll get to that you will get a high amount back. So it's all about the numbers. You also need to know what your conversion rates are, both in terms of lead generations, if you are running ads to get more leads, and also in terms of conversion to sale. So in other words, you need to be 100% across your numbers. And I keep telling this every single episode. Step number 2 is to determine how many sales you want to make or how many leads you want to attract. So determine what your revenue goal is or how many sales you want to make, and then you can work out how many leads you need to attract. And I'm speaking mainly about lead generation to sell courses or services or higher priced e-commerce items, literally anything that you need a funnel for. That's kind of what I'm talking about. So this is where knowing your numbers comes in. You need to know your average sales conversion rate. And it's great if you have this data already, but if you don't, there are actually some industry averages that I'll talk about a little bit later. It also depends on how you sell to them. So generally, you see a higher conversion rate with a live webinar than you would with a PDF download. So factor this in as well. The price of your course or your service can also impact your conversion rates. Generally not that much if you're really good at selling and you have, all your ducks in a row in terms of knowing who your ideal client is, really getting a good hook for your webinar, and have all of the pieces in place. Conversion rate is generally quite stable. If your offer is $1,000 and you want to sell 10 of them and your conversion rate is 5%, you need to attract 200 leads. So literally it's like reverse engineering. So your offer is $1,000, you want to sell 10 of them, your conversion rate is 5%, you need to attract 200 leads. Step 3 then is to calculate your Facebook ad spend budget. To do this, you need to multiply the number of leads that you need by the cost per lead. So like I said, it's reverse engineering, and you might not know the cost per lead, and that's okay. Lead costs they vary so much between industries, and it's often anywhere from $3 to $18 or even more, sometimes less, sometimes more. It really depends. And it also depends on your lead magnet, because leads to a PDF are often cheaper, but they need more nurturing. Like I said, they don't often convert as high, whereas leads to a webinar are often more expensive, but they tend to convert faster. So there's a lot of it up in the air. But this is what I'm seeing mostly when I run ads for my clients. So let's say your cost per lead is $8. You then multiply this by the 200 leads that you need, because we talked about that. You needed 200 leads to sell 10 spots. And that is how you calculate your ad spend. So to attract 200 leads, you need to spend $1,600. 200 times 8, $1,600. And like I said, calculating your ads budget is often a bit of reverse engineering based on the numbers that you have. And once you start running your ads and you see that your lead costs are less, you'll be able to either attract more leads for the same amount of money that you've already set aside, or you can decide to spend less. And if your lead costs are higher, let's say $10, you'll need to decide whether you're going to increase your budget to attract those 200 leads, or if you're going to focus on increasing your conversion rate for, by example, offering a limited time bonus, because it goes two ways. Sometimes instead of increasing the number of leads, you can work on, okay, how am I going to increase conversion? So if you've done all of the calculations and you decide that you don't want to spend that much money, you can adjust your budget knowing that your outcome might also be different. And that's really good. You might go, well, okay, maybe I'll sell 8 instead. So it is entirely up to you. The aim is to be intentional about your lead generation and your launch outcomes rather than simply clicking boost on on a post, expecting to make $10,000 from $100 budget. Just like knowing the numbers is so important. If your goal is to sell more than 10, let's say you want to sell 50 and you have a 5% conversion, then you'll need 1,000 leads, and which at $8 a lead means that you need a budget of 8,000. I know it sounds, like this is how you get up into the higher number of budgets. And this is why it's so important to know your conversion rate and to have a few launches under your belt to know your conversion rate, so that then you can amplify what you're already doing. And I'm saying a few launches under your belt, not one launch, because often your first launch, that's when you have your warmest audience and it tends to sell really well. It's then getting into the next launches that sometimes the numbers can drop a little bit. So I would say have a few launches under your belt and then you can start amplifying it. So before you run off to start your ads, I want to tell you that you want to have a budget of at least $500, but ideally $1,000. Anything less won't really get you the results you want. Plus, you probably won't even get enough data to figure out what is and what isn't working. Now, let's talk about conversion rates. And this varies per industry as well as per offer and even per funnel. Like I said, often a webinar funnel converts at a higher rate than a PDF download in terms of sales conversions. Sometimes even in terms of sign up to your webinar. Sometimes a PDF gets a higher conversion rate as well, but they need more nurturing. Generally, a conversion rate for online courses, and I'm talking sales conversions, is 1 to 3%, but sometimes it can be higher. I have a client who regularly converts between 10 to 15% of webinar attendees on a live webinar. So keep tweaking until you see consistent results. And I'm not saying that you have to all strive for that, 10 to 15%, but keep going and keep tweaking things and see what is working and how you can increase conversions. So webinar leads often cost more per lead, but if you keep focusing on higher conversion rates, it is worth it. For higher ticket funnels where you get people on a call with you and you sell that way, you're more likely to see a higher cost per lead, especially because people need to take the effort and sometimes the courage to speak to you. And conversion for that is generally between 1 to 3% as well. But some people are absolute sales stars. And if you get the right people on the call, i.e. your ad targeting is so laser focused and your copy is so spot on that you get the right people to connect with you, you can sometimes convert over 40% or more. And it really comes down to sales, your offer, your audience alignment, everything. And for e-commerce, the funnel sometimes is from ad direct to sale. So there's no lead generation. And your average conversion rate should be around 2 to 4% at least. It's like your store conversion rate. It should be 2 to 4% before you even run ads. So in terms of cost per lead, you'll be looking at a cost per sale versus a cost per lead. So in the end, it is really up to you how much you want to spend on your ads, but there is a way to reverse engineer how much you need to spend to make what you want to make. So we just talked all about that. And if it's your first time advertising, be realistic. And if you don't see the results, don't discount ads too quickly. If you're not seeing the results you were hoping for, you will at least get really good marketing research data that will help you find out where things go wrong or went wrong, so to speak, so that you can fix it. It's really it just gives you data much quicker on your funnel and how it's performing, and then you can fix it, do it again. So my advice is to keep tweaking until you get it right. And sometimes people are so close and then they give up and try something else, which is really disheartening. So keep going until you crack this nut. Well, at least so that you have enough data to base your decisions on. You need enough data before you can call it quits, really. So that is our money talk over for today. Hopefully that was helpful. Let me talk about my celebration offer. And I've come up with something super exciting. To celebrate 100 episodes, well, actually 101 episodes of this podcast, I am giving you the opportunity to join one of my Facebook advertising courses. So either e-com expansion for e-commerce business or advisory for course creators and service providers, plus the No BS Club at an absolutely amazing bundle price. So you can pick whichever ads course suits your business best, whether it's e-commerce or the one for course creators and service providers, and also get access to my No BS Club at an awesome bundle price. And this is something that normally isn't available like this. You'd have to buy them separately and pay a lot more for it. And both of my Facebook ads training programs are fully supported by me with access to private one-on-one calls with me. So we can sit down and look at your ads together, just you and me. And you also get a daily Facebook group support. And the No BS Club, which is really the No BS Brainstorming Club, that's what the second BS stands for, is an ideas brainstorming container. And every week we connect through Zoom or Voxer as a group to brainstorm ideas or answer questions. And it's unique. It is just awesome. I don't know if you've heard me talk about it before, but it is so much fun. So if you want access to one of the best Facebook ads trainings around, plus a place to connect with me and other business people on a weekly basis, get this bundle offer now. It is my celebration gift to you, and I will put all of the links for it in the show notes so you can check it out. It will be up until the end of October. I'm giving you quite a long time to get this because I don't want anyone to miss out, listening in too late kind of thing. It is such an awesome offer. It is such an amazing place. I'm having so much fun with the new No BS Club. And my Facebook ads trainings they are right up there. I have been doing this for 8 years, so I know what I'm doing. I've been there, I've done that. Like I said, I have amazing clients that regularly convert their funnels at 10 to 15%. So I have the behind the scenes on all of those funnels. So get onto this offer really, really quickly because I can't wait to help you with all of that as well. Awesome. And that is my celebration offer for you. And that is it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the New School of Marketing podcast. I hope it was helpful, and I can't wait to share more marketing tips with you next week. If you're ready to take your business to the next level with Facebook and Instagram advertising, make sure you visit newschoolofmarketing.com to download practical free resources, plus subscribe to the podcast and never miss an episode. I can't wait to go on this journey with you. Until next time, take care and market your business every day.